Hello and welcome. Our top focus is on the East African nation of Somalia. In a joint operation, Somali and US forces have targeted Al-Shabaab terrorists. Now, according to the Somali government, at least 12 members of Al-Qaeda-linked group have been killed in the strikes. The offensive was carried out on Adan Yabal, a district which is 220 kilometers north of the capital of Mogadishu. The target site was a terrorist hideout, and among the dead are senior members of Al-Shabaab. Now, the coordinated airstrike came just hours after Al-Shabaab terrorists attacked Adan Yabal in pre-dawn raids. The district holds strategic importance because it's where Somali forces plan counter-terrorism campaigns. The town sits on key roads that link the Somali capital to other parts of central Somalia. It acts as a launch pad for Somali forces and holds a key place for the planning and defense. The second US-Somalia strike targeted 2 boats in Somalia's territorial waters. Both of these vessels were carrying weapons for Al-Shabaab. The government says that everyone on board was killed. Elsewhere around the city of Baidoa in the southwest, Somali troops and their allies killed 35 terrorists. Al-Shabaab remains one of the most pressing security threats for the East African nation. Its goal is to topple the Somali administration and to replace it with an Islamist state. Renewed attacks by the group have raised serious concerns. Last month, Somalia's president narrowly escaped an assassination attempt. A bomb detonated in the capital, Mogadishu, just moments after his convoy had passed.
A big explosion rocked Mogadishu's Hamar Jajab district, especially the Horseid neighborhood. People whom we know and others we don't know were killed in the bomb attack. It is a deplorable incident, and we don't want it to happen again. I have heard between 7 to 8 people were killed in the attack.
For nearly 2 decades, Al-Shabaab has been waging a violent fight to overthrow the federal government. The group has carried out deadly bombings, attacks, and regular assassination bids across much of Somalia. Now, foreign forces have played a crucial role in Somalia's fight against Al-Shabaab. The United States and the European Union have trained Somali special forces, supplied weapons, and have shared critical intelligence to boost security operations. But the US, under President Donald Trump, expressed growing concern over Al-Shabaab's battlefield gains, as the Al-Qaeda-linked group continues to threaten regional stability. As security risks grow in Somalia, the Trump administration is reportedly divided over counter-terrorism operations in the country. Some US officials have suggested shutting the American embassy in Mogadishu and even pulling out troops. Peacekeepers of the African Union had helped Somalia to offset Al-Shabaab back in the years between 2022 and 2023. But as Al-Shabaab regains ground and US officials debate a pullback, how can Somalia continue its fight? Now, for more on this, we have with us Dr. Oluwale Ojewale, the Regional Coordinator for Central Africa at the Institute for Security Studies in Dakar. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, Doctor, why is Adan Yabal considered such a critical location for both Somali government and for the Al-Shabaab? And how does its control impact the broader counter-terrorism strategy in central Somalia?
Yes, thank you so much. Adan Yabal is significant for at least 2 reasons. One is the fact that it is situated in central Somalia, which makes it a critical transit point and logistical hub. Its location also allows control over major supply routes and movement corridors, especially for both military operation and even the commercial engagement that takes place around that corridor. The second reason will be something that I would describe as a strategic advantage, in that the region's control can provide a strategic advantage in terms of intelligence gathering, because when you look at the nature of activities that is also going on in that place, it shows that government and its foreign partners must be interested in that region, at least for surveillance and for operational planning. And that will allow the controlling force to monitor movement of even Shabaab and other armed groups that may want to infiltrate or cause havoc in that region. So the one is geography, the strategic location of that environment. To the broader geographical scope, national geography of the country, it holds a very symbolic value in the sense that whether it is Shabaab that controls the lever there, or it is the government, whosoever takes advantage of that geographical positioning of that area is going to exert serious control and could have upper hand even in military military advantage, even in controlling violence in that region.
Right. And Doctor, what does the recent well-coordinated airstrike reveal about the level of real-time intelligence sharing and operational coordination between the US forces and the Somali troops?
Well, I think if we look at, I think the result speaks for itself. Looking at what the government, with the partnership of the United States of America, has been able to carry out in the recent time in terms of strategic attacks that they've been able to carry out. I think it was a few days after the inauguration of President Trump that the first attack, the first airstrike actually took place in there, in Somalia, which shows the readiness of the government to support the Somalia government in finding some military solution to the protracted crisis of Shabaab in the region. So I think we can't really discuss it without looking at the international support that it appears that the Somalia government is enjoying now.
And given the timing of the strike following al-Shabaab's raid, how do such counteroffensives affect the group's tactical capabilities and also propaganda narrative, especially in the contested regions?
Well, I would say at this point that it is very important that if international forces really want to support Somalia, they should put their feet on the ground and to a reasonable extent degrade this Al-Shabaab to a significant degree, because this their sophistication on a regular basis, year in, year out, and the lethality of the attack that they're actually carrying out makes it look like a situation of one step forward and 2 steps backward. And that is the reason why in about a decade, we're still talking about this thing and looking at their growing sophistication on a daily basis. It shows that, like they say in the eastern part of Africa, that it is not yet Uhuru. And that is why I am arguing to say, if the international community really want to help Al-Shabaab, they should put all the necessary resources, the military capability that, if the international government really want to help Somalia government, they should put all the necessary support, the military capability that they really need to carry out decisive operation that can become a strategic and symbolic victory over Al-Shabaab at this particular time. And then I go back to my initial point about American support.
Doctor, thank you very much for being with us on Firstpost Africa and for your valued insights. Always great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India. What we saw in Kashmir.
The Prime Minister Modi. How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.